What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am here with a video talking Fukkatsu no F, and this is going to be a real interactive video. Like, I know in all my videos I say leave a comment, subscribe, and I'm going to say to do it again right now. But this one I think is probably going to be a little more interactive, and I might even do a follow-up to this one because I really want to talk to you folks, all of you, everybody listening about Fukkatsu no F. Something's popped in my mind this evening, and I wanted to. I'm recording this. Well, actually, it's morning right now, but who cares? Middle of the night, early morning. It all depends on where you're at. But anyways, some stuff has popped into my head here. I listened to Mike and Julian's podcast over on Kanzenshuu. If you go to kanzenshuu.com, you can download the podcast. Does contain spoilers for Fukkatsu no F, and this video will contain spoilers. So if you don't want any spoilers, turn the video off, or don't check out their podcast because they do review the movie. They're going to review the movie. Julian gives a little more information on the movie, but one of the things that was brought up about the film that I've been thinking about, and I don't really know how to feel about it, is the whole thing about Toriyama. And the thing about their podcast is that Mike really, even though Mike's always been a defender of Toriyama, and as well he should be because Toriyama gave us all this, Mike himself came off a little critical himself, like specifically with the Goten and Trunks thing. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I have a link below to the complete spoiler synopsis of the movie. If you want to know what happens in the movie start to finish, I've got the link below, so click it. Anyways, and one of the things that Julian and Mike both kind of made clear in their own separate ways was that Toriyama's kind of always been like this. And Julian himself said that the film really felt more like one of the older 13 Toei Dragon Ball Z movies versus like Battle of Gods, which added a whole bunch of new stuff. And Mike commented that that Toriyama oftentimes will give us something and then never really follow up on it. And I started thinking about this. I really did. And it hit me, like it literally hit me. All the different things going all the way back to Dragon Ball in the early days that kind of make sense with what he's saying. Like, for example, Lunch. Lunch is the girl who sneezes and her blonde hair, and then, she's brunette and she's all like ditzy and dumb, and then she becomes like this maniac when she's blonde. We never get an explanation about any of this, like how she's able to do it, if she's an alien, if she was cursed, nothing. Also, Oolong and Puar, and we're talking about the early chapters. This is the early parts of Dragon Ball. Oolong and Puar talk about going to shapeshifting school, and yet throughout the remainder of the story, we see no other shapeshifters ever. Things like that popped in my head. We never found out, like, to this day, we don't know exactly what Frieza's race is. We don't know how many are out there. We don't know where he came from, what planet he's from. We don't know that. There's so many unanswered questions in Dragon Ball, and when you think about it, there kind of always has been. So here's my question to all of you. Are we expecting too much from Toriyama? Because a lot of complaints, including my own, have been that this new movie, Fukkatsu no F, throws a bunch of shit at the wall. There's no real explanations for a lot of things. There's no real, there's not really a deep plot-filled story. Even though Battle of Gods did have a story, much more of a story than this movie. Really, the TV series was, and the manga was able to have a long story because it was longer. You had more time. You didn't have the confines of a movie. But my biggest gripe with the Fukkatsu no F spoilers and the plot synopsis is not that Vegeta does not win. I've said it a million times. Nothing to do with the fact that Vegeta does not win, even though I do feel Vegeta should have gotten his moment in this movie. If there was ever a time to do it, it's this one, and he does get a moment. So let's be happy about that. But my biggest gripe is that nothing is explained. Frieza's power up with the 4 months, not really explained. How Goku is able to achieve the blue Super Saiyan, not really explained. There's a lot of things that are not explained. And now I'm thinking to myself, is it me or is it Toriyama? You know, does that make sense? Like, not to insult him or insult myself or anything like that, but are we as fans, because of the way society has kind of changed the way stories are told now, are we expecting too much from Akira Toriyama? Should we just sit back and just enjoy the ride? I gotta be honest, I'm a grown man now. It's a little difficult for me to do that. I still love Dragon Ball a lot, but I'm having struggles with it because even though there are other forms of entertainment that are going to be able to satisfy me intellectually, like some of the other TV shows that are on television and maybe even other anime, I almost feel like Toriyama should kind of keep with the times, but I also feel like it's unfair for us to ask him to just explain things when he's never really had to explain things in the first place. So I'm going to ask you guys then, are we asking too much of Toriyama? Are we expecting too much from his work and from the movie coming up, Dragon Ball Z Fukkatsu no F? Leave a comment below, let me know. Curious to get everybody's thoughts, because I don't really know what to think about this, really. I really don't. Maybe I'm expecting too much, maybe. But then again, Battle of God set that bar really high, too. You know, and think about all the times that Toriyama has introduced shit and never explained it. Like, even, you know, I talked about, like, the whole thing earlier about Puar and then Oolong. But even recently, he did interviews where he talked about the Galactic Patrol. Like, we saw, okay, that's fine. We saw a little bit of that. But also, he was talking about the Ma Kaioshin. For those who don't know, a few years ago, Toriyama said there's an evil, malicious Kaioshin called the Ma Kaioshin, like evil Kais. We never got that in anything. No movie, no manga, nothing. 12 universes. He brought it in. No mention at all in Revival of F. None. So these things, it's like he just comes up with stuff and then never follows it up. And that's my problem. Is that him being a lazy writer? Or has he always been like this and we're just expecting too much because we're older now than we were when Dragon Ball was around back in the day? I don't know. Leave a comment. Give me your thoughts. Thanks for subscribing. Spread the word. And I hope y'all have a great one.